make sure you have everything you need to succeed as a copywriter. So now we're going to go through some master secrets that add that extra oomph on top of all the principles you've been learning. Let's go through them now. So we've mentioned those 6 lead types. We encourage you to try several leads. You don't quite know which one will be the best until you test. We always say that. Somebody will say, should I use this word or that word? You don't know until you test. It could make a huge difference. So you want to remember that the lead with the headline can make or break your promotion. So give it a try. Come up with 6 or more alternative ways to open the conversation in your copy. It gets your creative juices flowing at the very least, and you may come up with a gem. So try the 6 different leads resource that we've provided for you. Here's an example again of that exciting curiosity lead we had. Can you tell which one of these healthy meals is loaded with one of the deadliest poisons in history? It's been a huge success. Number 2, spell out everything. If in doubt, assume your prospect knows less about your product or service than you'd guess. So you want to spell out what they get, or if there are phrases used, you want to explain what those are. If you have features or benefits you want to cover, explain them, if just, for the benefit of the doubt. So here in this Audible example, they spell out exactly what the prospect gets by becoming a member. 30 days of membership free plus a book to get you started. 1 credit a month after trial, good for any book regardless of price. Ad-free premium audio you listen to offline. No interruptions. Your own library to build. Keep your books forever even if you cancel. Get 30% off additional audiobooks. Easy exchanges. Don't love a book? Swap it for free anytime. Seriously. So that's a nice way of spelling out everything for the customer before they buy. Number 3, you don't want to ever write down to your prospect or you want to keep your copy clear and easy to read, but never be condescending. So again, this nice copy sample I showed you before was very one-on-one with a concern for the homeowner, but never talking down that they don't understand HVAC or pollution in their home or anything like that. Don't overuse words. We all have a favorite word we might want to use. I say basically a lot or so, and you might have noticed that a couple of times. I really tried to be cognizant of it. But in your copy, you don't want to use that a lot or certain extra words that are favorites of yours. Amazing. Everybody says amazing. It's so overused now. It's lost its appeal. So here's an example also of copy that is optimized for search engines, but it's almost unreadable because of the way they just keep using the same phrase or the same keyword over and over again. We are so-and-so, Fire Protection Services Company, specializing in fire equipment sales and service. Our mobile fire extinguisher, fire protection services, fire safety, fire investigate. This is written for Google. It's not written for people because it's so packed with keywords, it's almost illegible for human beings. So you don't want to do that. And one way to go ahead and check your copy to make sure you're not overusing words is to do a find and replace if there are certain phrases you might suspect you've used too often. Number 5, eliminate your first paragraph. You may be thinking, what? But it's very common for people to just get warmed up with that first paragraph, and then they don't get to the heart of the story or the body copy. And then they don't get to the heart of the story or the body copy until the second paragraph. Fiction writers know this very well. They often tear up the first chapter because they rarely start telling the story until the second chapter. And the same holds true for sales copy. Start at the start and not before. And this is a great example. We showed this before, but it's a story that starts right in the middle of the drama. My toilet was stopped up, my guests were on their way, and I couldn't find a plunger. Now, it could have started at 6 o'clock, we were expecting to have company come over, and then, that's not exciting. You want to start where the excitement starts. Check the flow of your copy. It should flow naturally from one sentence to the next, one paragraph to another, without jumps or starts or long sentences that confuse the reader and make them have to stop and reread it. You want to make sure you use things like subheads, bullets, captions, photos, other things that break up the copy and keep that flow going. Number 7, here's a great one. Always make sure the last sentence of your copy compels your prospect to respond. Tell them exactly what to do, reinforce that big idea and promise, and then ask them to do it. Here with Proactive, we have kits starting as low as $19.95. The last sentence is, achieve your best results, there's the promise, With a variety of proactive options, plus as a member, you save up to 50% off. That's the offer. Non-member prices, order now. That last sentence included a promise and an offer. And then ask for the order. Number 8, tell your prospect what to do. We just mentioned that. Sometimes, even on an overall web page, people aren't sure where to go or what to do. And you don't want them to be confused. So never assume the prospect will figure it out by himself. Tell him exactly what action to take. In this example here, we have a lot of actions, but they all lead to the same thing, finding their pet. So find your lost pet now. So find your lost pet now is the main call to action. They even repeat it below. Find your lost pet, dog or cat in 3 easy steps. But they also have actions even in their navigation. Get started, view lost pets, report a found pet. Very actionable. Number 9, keep it simple. Use short words and sentences. Again, you just want people to be able to scan your copy, get the idea of how something's awesome, and choose you. You want to avoid words that may not be easily understood by your prospect. If you have to use jargon, make sure you explain it, unless it's, like I said, a super fan of something or a very technical field where people do use that language every day. Here's a nice example. It's Gusto payroll processing. You'll see that they have very short sentences, very short headers, and promises that are succinct and full of benefits. All in one: payroll, benefits, and HR. Gusto automates administrative tasks so you have more time for meaningful work. Don't break a sweat, top-notch support, we've got your back, simple pricing. Boom, bing, easy. Number 10, use an active voice and action words. Passive language, you want to avoid it at all costs because it's boring, it's not inspiring. You want to make sure you turn it around to active voice. So you want to say something like, get our report, 5 hidden tax breaks to discover, that's action, not this. In the report, 5 hidden tax breaks, there's information about. That's very flat and not really inspiring. Now let's move on to the next set of secrets.